Welcome to all my beautiful fools. I am Payne, and today we are starting Inktober. Now you're probably looking at this like, this is not the 1st of October. I am not going to do another full month of nothing but daily things. I want to actually have some product at the end of it that's kind of, nicer, and that I can put up on my Ko-Fi, and people can either buy it, donate, or whatever like that. So people have options to, have a coloring page or something. But I am going to keep to the buffering wheels here. The heart, or the love having ADHD and trying to do filming. We're going to try to keep to the heart of Inktoberfest by using ink. And so I'm going to be doing an ink and quill. And I just got this brand new ink quill. It's really, really pretty. Because all I had before was some speedball ones, which, they're fine. Little plastic and stuff. They're very light, and they have, they're decent. I have some quills as well on it. But this one, I got this over at Trolley Center in Trolley Square in Salt Lake, downtown Salt Lake. They have a stationery place that sells like some of the high-end pens and inks and stuff. And I just, happened to be driving by doing Uber and found myself there. I'm like, ooh, and so this one I got for like $20 and stuff. It's really nice weight. It's a marble. It's like a marble nib holder. Quill, and it has some very nice weight to it. And then it came with a fine tooth type of quill. So I'm going to see how well this one, right? So normally I use this one is the one I usually use for my hand drawing and stuff. Make sure you can see that. It's very nice. You can tell it's been used quite a bit. I might have to do some light buffing or sanding, get some of that off. But some of this is kind of difficult to get in and out of. I need this a little rusty because I didn't take it out after I rinsed it. So note to self, these are like steel. Make sure you clean them. But if you have a brand new nib and you get frustrated because you cannot get the thing to write, it's like skips and stuff, and it just the ink does not hold on to it. It's because you didn't clean your nib. They put a coating on it so for when it's traveling so it doesn't rust and everything. And there are certain different ways that you can go to clean it off and get it prepared so it's ready to go when you get a brand new nib one. You can use a little maybe alcohol and just lightly rub the stuff off of it. It will work and stuff. Just make sure you clean it really, really good. One of the other ones that people use that's probably one of the most gentle methods to do. It's one of the most gross ones, but it works really well. Is to on it. Usually I just get a piece of paper all over the paper and just kind of rub the in and out of it and just clean it up really good. And because the enzymes in your saliva will break down the oils or the film that they have on here when they ship it, and that way your ink will actually hold on to it better and you'll have a better flow. And then of course always test it and see how well it works. And the other ways I've known people to stick it in potatoes and stuff, because the enzymes in there will help take off the stuff. But then you also you have the I'm trying to work on that. You have the problem of if you have some really fine tips, it could break the tip. So do that, caution. Another way to do it's very simple. Just dip it in your ink and wipe it off and do it like 10 or 12 times, 15 times until it is staying coated properly, and you can draw a fine line and test it out that way. I have some scrap paper. I always keep some scrap paper next to you so you can do some tests. And since this is October, I am doing I've already hand sketched this. I probably should sketch this thing like in colored pencil because it will flow in better, maybe with a very light blue or something like that. I will show it when I get there, but it is I call it the witch's potluck. And you have 3 witches. One's like doing a big old, toil and trouble, adds newts and whatever the stuff to it. And you have another witch who's looking into the background. There's a village behind the area, which you'll see, and she's looking on as people coming down the fields, you know, pitchforks and flames and stuff. And a third one is picking apples from a tree next to a really cool looking house that I drew. I found I really enjoy drawing like Victorian style houses or type of monster houses and that type of stuff. And I need to finish this tree. Sorry, just squirrel. But I almost want to put some like bubble tops, like you have the it's like the soup's almost done, and it's like, ooh, I hope the villagers bring that recipe for the apple pie, and then the other one would say the villagers are coming, and so it's like the local witches are having a potluck for all the neighborhood people. But it's really cute. Like I said, I'll show this in here in a second. I just want to do my talking. Let's see if I'm going to change this point of view so it's overhead, so you can take a look at this and you can kind of see what I'm working with. And we'll go and make sure this quill and ink is working perfectly so we can start doing some line work, and I can see how well this nib, I don't know what kind it is. These ones are always so hard to see. I don't know if it's just a generic one that comes with this brand, but I don't see any name or stamp on here to see what kind it is. This one has kind of a fold down. I might have to like, there's like some tongs in here. I might have to clamp them down a little bit more. It's a little loose, but not too bad. All right, let's go and put this above there. I got my coffee, and we'll get started on my Inktober. So like I said, I'm gonna do the first video. This is probably gonna be a two-part video. The first one, I'm just gonna outline this thing and leave it in black and white, and then I'll upload it as a coloring page. So if you guys want to do it yourself, you can color it. It's gonna be, this is like the size of paper I have. I'll have it shrunk down slightly because I usually use these to make mats. So when I'm like doing the one, I can like cut on them and paint on them and stuff, and they, you know, have them laminated. But like with my Painful Life one, you can actually use these. And this one I want it to be a holiday one. That way you can get a couple of them. You can and use them for art stuff as well, and it's a holiday theme type of stuff. So that's why I wanted to stop saying stuff. That's why I wanted to do the she wants catnip. That's her sign to me. She wants catnip. But yeah, I wanted to get some different types of mats done up this month. I wanted to do one that was I haven't drawn it, but I have an idea for it. A koi pond with koi in there, but with like autumn leaves and stuff over the top with the rippling, because I want to learn how to do like water scenes and stuff. I think would be really cool. I need to stop saying stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm going to Toastmasters so I can learn how to speak without saying all these filler words, but you know, when you're just thinking and haven't done any script writing beforehand and you just do it off the top of your head, you can say stuff and so and a lot. All right, let's get started on this. I will put this set up, and then I'm going to start at least try to get an hour in of drawing today. I'm trying not to overdo myself and do it too much, and then it just ends up looking like crap. If you're doing big projects, make sure you take time to stop. Just, you know, set yourself a timer, do it for an hour, then go do something else, and then come back. Also gives you time to let the ink dry, for one thing, and gives your brain a time to recoup, because it takes a lot of brain cells and finger cells and all other kinds of cells to engage and get your artistic flowing down, because after a while you just get tired, your hand gets tired, your brain gets tired, and that's when you start messing up. So make sure you give yourself breaks. All right, let's go put this away, and we will change the point of view. about a week or so, I need to make sure I'm actually just doing this and not some of the other stuff. I've been doing too many things without actually sitting down and doing this, and if I want to get this out before Halloween, I need to freaking sit down and do it. So we left off at the tree and a little bit of the villagers. Today I want to get at least the witches and the tree and the moon, and then maybe part of this tree or house or something like that. So I want to kind of get, again, working from the top down. And what I've been doing up to this week, what I've been up to this week has been trying to figure out how to do printing up some of these pages, and of course I did it on the wrong thing, so now it's all fuzzy. I need to redo it in PDF. I'm just gonna take my my pictures over to FedEx and have them like resize some of these. I need to go and flip this as well. I'm gonna just take my originals up and have them take pictures or copy them and put them into a PDF or a little micro thingy so I can plug it in my computer, so I don't have to do as much work on it, because some of this is okay. I just need to put it to the PDF. Some of the sizes are slightly different because I want each of these to be about 3 by 6. And it was kind of hard to judge the size. That one I need to flip. This one I forgot to put the white background, and so it has a black background on it. It's not too bad. Whoops, sorry. Stop shaking. Actually, this is not a bad size for a mini one, and actually it looks really nice, but it needs to be slightly bigger if I want to do a normal challenge, or if I need to make it slightly smaller for a mini challenge. But these wouldn't be bad if I can learn how to do it and do them different sizes, so I can do some micro mini ones. This one, you can really see the fuzziness on it, because I had to take a picture of them from above with the camera, and then I had to go in there and adjust it, and it's really hard to Photoshop when you have to do it from a picture and getting the right sizes done. Especially, I'm just learning how to do actually I'm using Photo P, which is the free version of Photoshop. So if you can't afford a Photoshop, look up Photo P, and it's just over the internet. It has commercials in it, so that's how they pay for it. But pretty much it's the same type of things as Photoshop. It has all this, the layout, it looks like Photoshop as well. But this is like, I need to send this to a PDF instead of whatever the heck I had it in PNG, I think, which is for photos on screen. But I need to adjust that one a bit, and I'm going to take a picture of it. I had my Hey Good Looking. Like I said, it's very pixelated, so I need to change it to the right one. And then I have this one, and you can really see the yellow that I didn't get deleted out, because that's when taking a photo. Sometimes you have to go and kind of erase all of these, and it's kind of hard. Sometimes you can miss it. And this is slightly bigger. It's about 3 or 6. You can always trim it down, I guess. But I need to work on getting the sizes right. And when I draw them, I might just have to draw them and then do a little bit of a border inside it as well, so I can make sure I don't make the characters too big. But yeah, I got the black border on there because I forgot to put the white background on it. Like I said, I'm still learning this. Once I get it down and I get this done, then I'll have everything done up, and I'll get my Ko-Fi account done. And then you can go and either buy or donate. Some of these I'll have free. Like the Hey Good Looking one, I'm going to have that free because that is a one that I actually got off of Pinterest. Actually, these are all hand-drawn. That's, I thought of. But this one was done from Pinterest, and so I don't want to get paid for that. So I'm just going to do that one as a freebie. I did change a little bit, and it's done in ink, so it's already different. But still, everything else is actually hand-drawn. And, I just did from pictures that I looked at for references, and then just... This is actually stippling, which is lots and lots of dots. This is more of a first attempt. You can see just the progress from the sunflowers that just look like a big mess, to the orchids that are more tight and more defined, and to the wild roses, which really turned out really, really nice as well. They have a little bee there. This is supposed to be a ladybug, but it just looks like a spot. And I might have to do some more pixels. These things take forever, so these ones I might actually have... for a couple bucks or something. And then I have some Zentangle ones. And these ones have a lot of, you can save up a lot of money for these ones. Each of one of these are actually hand-drawn as well with I don't think it was quill and ink, it was just the micro pen, the really small micro pen. And so there's a lot of little designs, all of them are interconnected and everything. It just kind of turned out cool. And there's like 85 spots on these ones, so if you do it for $1 each, you can save $85. This one's, I don't know, I think there's like 46 or something. And these ones are around that area, because you can save a lot if you're doing $1, or you can do quarters and still save a good amount. You can do whatever you want. But I'm going to get those fixed up, and by the time I get this done, I'm going to have all of them hopefully done up and put in my Ko-Fi account. So hopefully by the time you see this video up, I should have my Ko-Fi account up. So you can actually go and download this one. I might go and just do it into 2 different photos, or just one large one, and then you can either cut it in half or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to have them make this slightly smaller. I'm going to take it over to FedEx, and I'll have them make it slightly smaller so it's the same size as my other picture that I have. This is about 1 inch or 2 smaller. That way you can, you know, hopefully print it up by a normal one, or cut it up. I don't know. I might have to, maybe I'll do a normal size and maybe go and do 2 different pieces separately and just have it cut right down the center, so you'll have the moon, and so it's almost like a picture in a coloring book type of thing. But we'll get, yeah, let me see, where is it? I had this one redone. This is basically what I'm doing. I'm going to have it kind of as a mat, and this has it's laminated. So this will be about this size when it's done. So it can be laminated if you want to, so you can have you and your kids, stop hitting the dang thing! So you can have you and your kids color it in if you want. I'll probably go in a little bit later and actually just do a painting for me, and I'm going to do it in inks and oil, kind of like this one as well. But hopefully that will be done up. Let me erase some of it. Oh, if you ever have an eraser, before you use it for the, you know, whatever time you're using it, make sure you kind of go and rub it. You can even wash these so they're kind of got fresh edges, and you're not just smearing some of this lead around. This is useless to draw with because it's so small, but if you have a feather, they are really good at getting the excess lead off without smearing it all over the place. So after you get a picture done and you sketch it out with a pencil really lightly, hopefully, and just go in here with this, and you're not getting oils and stuff onto your paper. Just a little helpful hint there. I'm gonna get rid of some of this that's already, make sure that's, then ever so often you're gonna get this stuff all over your pens, but just kind of go in there and clean it. Because if you spend this much time on one of these things, you want to make sure you're not getting crud all over your papers. So kind of just go over, now that you got the outline, you can always come back with the detail later on, but you don't need these lines anymore. So kind of go through there and get rid of the lines. Check your eraser every time that you use it. Check it and clean it off. And I've got that. I'll go over here to the bird. Clean that off. Anyway, and when you have to Photoshop or clean this thing up, you don't have as much stuff to clean, which is always good. And then see, you got it clean, a little dirty. Go and clean it, and you got a clean one, because you can see the difference. This is the side that's I haven't cleaned, and that's the side that has. And if you just go right down the center, I've even like washed these with soapy water. Oops, stop doing that, Holly. Alright, I'm gonna make sure you always, I have just some plain old wax paper so you don't have your hands smearing on any place that you're not using. But before I do that, put this up here. I'm going to take my, because I usually do it a little bit darker so I can kind of see, but go over with a kneadable eraser, kind of bend it a couple times. I might be in need of a new one. I've had this one forever, but they last for a very long time. And just kind of roll it. And that will lighten up your the area that you're going to be working on. I'm going to at least work on these witches, and you can always just kind of go and press. I used a little bit too much pressure on her. Sometimes when you get tired, you start using a lot more pressure than you should. I'm going to get that moon done as well. I have some trees in there. That one's a lot lighter. You can see the difference between the two. This one hasn't been lightened. That one has been lightened. So we're going to put this over here. Put my water. I don't need that. I don't need that. But yeah, you can... If you're getting started and you're looking like this and saying, I have no talent, I can't do this, what the heck? How can anybody do this? I started learning to draw. Don't know why I keep slamming in my hand. I started learning to draw last year. And with me being a school bus driver, I have like 5-hour window, and I, just did a little bit each day, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, every other day, every day. And this is what it started out with. It was just, line work, very messy. Pencils, some rabbits and stuff. Round shapes I seem to be okay with, but even then you can kind of see the cup is very one-dimensional. And so I didn't really understand how to do, I'm still learning how to do dimensions, lots of just line works, round shapes, oval shapes. I draw something and realize it looks kind of weird, and I just kind of continue on. And then after a little while, things would get a little bit better, and do it a little bit better, and sketches, and then other times I do something that it'd look really, really weird. But I was just doing random. You can also tell the seasons. This is August or October. Starting to get some of these. My humans were really awful. They still are, but they're not as bad. My humans are getting a little better, at least from the back. I got some ghosts. This is, you can tell, near Halloween. So I have some pumpkins, and they're very, more stuff for kids and stuff, and some spiders, and you can see the improvement a little bit. And just as you go, as I started to learn and do stuff, it's still kind of one-dimensional, but as I went, you can kind of see the progress of some of this stuff. Santa Clauses. I already did that side. And, going up to finally doing watercolors and learning how to do drawings and not just other stuff. And just as time went over, you just really improve. Try new ways to do it. By June, I have 1 million. Yeah, right. By June, I'm going to have 1 million in my account. Yeah, right. But yeah, it just takes a little time, and you'd be surprised at what you can learn in just 1 year by yourself. I'm to the point now where I'm like, I probably need to have someone doing training and everything. This tree I'll have to work on a little bit more, but that's a good outline for it, because that branch up here looks like, is it a tree or is it not? I don't know. But let's get this done. You can get my ink over here. I got my blot pads. I got some little pads to blot on so I don't get any drips. I've got my water. I don't think I need that yet. Got some paper, and I'm gonna put this on the time lapse or hyperlapse, so that way I am not filling up my camera with so much stuff. Plus, it looks a lot better for some dang reason. The coloring on it looks a lot better than just the lighting that I have in my house. I need some more lamps and stuff like that to get some better lighting for filming, and a better film instead of just using my camera. All right, I'm gonna put this in hyperlapse, and we'll see how much I get done. Then I'm gonna do some Ubering. quit there. I did the bottom part of the tree, and I'm starting to just make random scratches, so I think it's time to stop and let my brain rest. I'm gonna go and clean up my ink and pen. After I'm done, I might try to condense this into a smaller one. I might end up getting rid of the tree and put this over at my dad's work as an adult coloring page, and also put it on a Ko-Fi account once I get that done up. I messed up a couple times on some of my when I tried to clean them up a little bit on Photopea or Photoshop. I ended up kind of narrowing some of these things down, and then I didn't put the layer behind it, and so I just have a big square of black behind it and then the picture. So I'm still kind of learning. I will, once I get this all done and get it figured out how to do it, I'll get a lot more stuff up onto Ko-Fi as I go. But so far, this is what I got so far. I still got the witch in the center I need to do. I'm gonna probably get some pictures of the moon and do some designs in there. Might have to do it with a larger pen or maybe just a paintbrush type of thing. And this is like more sketchy. I need to add a little bit more detail to some of these trees a little bit. I want to kind of have that look of the white looking trees and stuff that's the bark's more smooth with like almost ripples in it, because those are kind of cool looking. I'm not sure if apple trees have that. I'll have to look at some, because this is supposed to be an apple tree. I'm going to have to look at some old apple trees and see what type of the bark looks like. But right now I've just been adding a little bit of the shading. My owl or a cat or whatever that thing is, and I don't know what it is, it looks like there's number 4 under his wing. Adding a little bit of texture to the windows and shading on them as well. Adding a little bit more shade underneath, because this is supposed to be a moon, but it might actually be a sunlight, but it looks too big to be a sun. But you know, I'll leave it black and white so people can decide if it's going to be a sun or moon. Then you got the villagers coming down to hang out with their local lady witches. They look like witches, but this is like farmers' hats. And they're doing some soup. They got a little well for their water. Got their nice little house. Maybe the farmers are going to come down there and help them do some repair work because they're new neighbors. They want to be happy. But I'm going to call this the witch's potluck. Alright, I'm going to call that quits for now. And I will come back and do some more. But it's looking pretty good. I did more of a thin pointed quill on this one. I might come back with a slightly thicker quill later on to add some shading and stuff and definition, because I want to keep this one all quill. And then when I get my big one done, I'm probably going to do just find those pen like a, not a Sharpie, but you know, one of the felt tip ones, because the dipping is a lot. And once it goes on, it just goes on. And if you mess up, people are going to see. At least that way you know it's not AI. Because every little stroke is hand done. So I want some stuff out there that's, you know, hand done local artists that people can pick up and enjoy. Put my little wax paper, because I know my cat likes to sit on these things. And go get me some lunch, and I'm gonna relax and let my brain de-brain. Alright, it's looking pretty good. It's like I have an idea for another one, but I need to get some more holiday ones in, because I want to get some holiday coloring pages in as well. So people can enjoy them either here and then online if you don't live close. Like I, over here in Macy's out here, I put them out there on the desk. My dad works there, so I'm gonna go in. If you see one at a local store, then you know it's locally hand-drawn. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one. Well, it's gonna be the same one, the same video, but it's gonna be the next one for me, because I'm trying to do at least an hour, a couple times a day. Now I'm just rambling. I need to get me some coffee. Alrighty, later. Okay. Coming back, I did do a little off-screen filling in some shading and stuff. I did some extra detail. The top of the tree kind of went bonkers. It doesn't quite make, it almost looks like AI on the top. I also did some paintbrush kind of getting some extra, ooh, don't spill, extra shading and stuff on the tree to see how I like it, because, you know, if I'm gonna cut anything off, it's gonna be that tree if I do a coloring page or something. So I thought I'd play around with the tree and get some shading and stuff and still kind of have it nice and use it as a coloring page still. And so let's see if we can get back and get this witch over here fill in. I'll probably do the tree, top of the trees later on, and then doing some little extra shading. But I've been using the pencil, not the pencil, the Fabricate, the extra small, and the number 5 to do some extra detail on those instead of just the ink and quill, because it's a lot easier when you're doing a lot of things and not have to worry about having the ink splash on it so much. And so we're gonna get her done up. Looks like I got a little bit of a smear there. Put some wax paper over this side so I don't do a smear of that. Actually, I have, where's my, but let's see if we can at least do an hour over here, get the witch filled in. I'm gonna, after I'm done with this, I'm gonna, make sure that's in line. I'm going to, well, one, I'm going to get a print up of the full one just for me. And then later on, I'll probably try to, might have to end up cutting this up to kind of condense it into a smaller 8x5 kind of coloring page. I might even have to do like 2 sections, maybe 2 different coloring pages. I could always do something like that. I haven't decided, but I'll play around with it on Photoshop and get it all done up. Make sure I don't have any rust on here. I'm gonna use my handy dandy little tool. Alright, let's see if we can at least get this little witch done up so I can erase her fully. I'm gonna have her little witchy hat. I should have done her face first. I'm gonna just do kind of dots, give it the illusion. The other ones turned out not too bad. She almost has no neck. She looks like she's got a cob pipe in her mouth. And her hand is like way up here. I don't know. That's it. I am not the best person when it comes to doing humans yet. I am still learning. He looks like a Muppet. Oh, dear Lord. She's so sad looking. I almost want to make sure her hat covers her fully. All this other stuff done. I am not happy with my Muppet. Get the flies, will ya? Stop chattering at it and get it. My cat is just laying down and like chattering at the flies like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, get the fly. Get the fly. I know, go get it. It's taunting you. It's taunting you. Okay, I think, oh, I almost done. I forgot the fence. I forgot the fence. So let's get some fences going over here. I guess I probably could use my other one, but I'm gonna do a little, just a line. Just so I kind of know where it is. And here's a little double line. I'm gonna have a little fence coming up here. I don't know if I'm going to do that with the other tree. I might, since I did do it on one side, I might do it on the other, but I might do more pen and then a little bit of the shadowing like that. Very kind of dirty water, and just kind of go in here and give the moon some texture, because just did it with the pen, and it's just not the right texture for a moon. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dirty water from my jar, basically dab it a little bit, and just come in here and do some darkening of the moon. Selves, fails if you're cleaning your nibs off. You make sure I haven't really been able to do the lady in the moon, or the man in the moon. But I'm gonna try to do a little bit of glow around here, a little bit darker on the sides. Don't want to do too much because it can get kind of overpowering, and I don't want to get it too wet or it will crinkle. But you do want a little bit of different shadows and stuff. I don't want it just a circle. Dab that off, make sure I put that in the right one. Oop. Make sure I don't get any. I could probably do some clouds, but I want it to be a clear night. That way you can have the moon casting the shadows instead. And so I got my quill, and I'm gonna go in here with some, it has like the thick and thin, so it has just a little bit of different texture in here. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of extra texture. And like I said, I've been working on this for a couple weeks now because, well, drawing it out and stuff. I started drawing the thing out like last month, and then this month I've been doing the quill and ink. And the quill and ink, I think I've been working on this thing for well, not a couple hours, more like 5 or 6 hours. It's really, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying doing trees, actually. Really enjoy doing trees. I'm gonna try to darken it up underneath here because, you know, the tree's casting a shadow. So I want to have a little bit of extra darkness, but I still want this enough white and stuff that people can come through here and color it. You know, I want it to be a coloring page. I have pretty much started to figure out how to do Pinterest, so hopefully by the time this thing comes out, is up this Friday, I'm hoping it's going to be up Friday, that my Ko-Fi account will be up and you can buy this. I'm going to try to, I might end up having to put it into 2 different pictures, you know, that way you can do them like coloring pages 8 by 11. Or I might have to try to cut it down into a smaller one. I might have to cut out a little bit this, a little that. If I want to keep the main sections of, like, you know, the tree and everything and the witches, I can always delete that center one and bring it over so you can kind of see the portraits and then the little house and the little village in the background. And let's get a little more detail on that bird. But yeah, I've just been, I'll probably just do some dots on here. I don't want to do too much there because it's wet. And this is pointy, and I will end up gouging the paper if I do that on some wet paper. Make sure actually, I should probably grab this and put it on the other side. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll probably just fast forward this. I'm gonna get me a couple leaves out here so it looks kind of like so it's supposed to be a apple tree because, you know, you can see some apples on here. And then I have one thing I do like about this quill and ink one, you can get different thicknesses quite easily. But at the same time, you can get different thicknesses quite easily. So you kind of have to be careful where you do it. And once, you know, you've kind of figured out how to do this, so I want a little bit darkness under here. It's a lot easier to do it with just kind of a felt pen or one of the micro pins. And that is like going, and if you press too hard, you can end up in a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm searching for a word. When I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, what words just do not work. And now I've forgotten what the word I was searching for. Have you ever done that where you just have, you're like, I'm just not today. It's been a long day. Yeah, I like working with ink and pen and stuff, but it is very unforgiving. And when you get tired, it's very easy to get, not really frustrated, but very easy to just kind of go overboard or not overboard and just put too much in or not enough. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna get it all cut up and then I'll take it down to my store. That way people can get some free coloring pages. And the ones I've been putting out there has been a little more adult, and they seem to be picking them up pretty good. So apparently people are liking them, which is good. My dad's store is kind of like my my testing ground. Nope, see how big that is. Right, let's get it back. It's like, I want the different shapes and the different textures, but I don't want a big old blob. You can tell where I kind of just, not so much detail over here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to add that later. Especially underneath. There'll be more light coming from the top, from the moon. So most of your dark areas will be underneath where there's less light. So since it's the moonlight or sunlight, whatever type of time you're doing your things, just kind of have to think of where is the light gonna land on. Up here it's gonna be up on top, and then so underneath will be darker. You might actually just have some, and then you can come back here. Whoop, get back here. One thing you have to remember to get the bottom part. Stay there. I'm gonna do a little bit of more of the darker, even if you just do a little water, because a lot of this is not water soluble. I mean, it is water soluble, so you can kind of under it, just dab it in. Now I'm gonna try to get some shadow on this tree without messing it up. So I'm gonna try to do the shadow where anything might overlap a little bit, so there. And depending on how dark you want it, if that is really dark, I don't want it that dark, but if I do, it'd probably be right here, where it meets the really the darkest spots. I don't want to darken it so much that it takes away some of that texture. Where some of these darker hatches are, I might want to just add a little bit of water to blend it up a bit. That out just a little bit. Makes the hatch marks a little less noticeable. I guess I can uncover that so people can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm pretty much done. Like I said, I might just add a little bit of darker colors on certain areas where it is already pretty dark. I might just do a little bit of, like, between these, the two, yeah, the stuff, two words. Over here where the tree and the things meet, add a little bit extra. Got a little scratchy there. I can tell where I was starting to get tired because they're a lot scratchier up here in between these things. I want to do her face a little bit darker, but I don't want to go overboard on these ones. I want to keep them so people can actually do them themselves. a little bit of scratching underneath these tables. And that's the one thing that you are always forgetting. It's like you're forgetting all the shadows. You know, it's like I could put more shadows of the tree and everything, but no, that's enough. That's enough. Now, I will probably go over to FedEx because I don't have a printer or a scanner. I'll have them scan this. I'm going to have them do it a slightly smaller. Sorry. So it could, so it's the same size as this. I forgot to measure it, but that way it's a little bit smaller and you can laminate it, and that way you can have a mat for your holiday, you know, if you're doing anything, you can have a holiday mat and, you know, dinners or whatever you want, and you can go and color it in, or you can leave it in black and white or whatever you like. And I'm gonna do a couple of them full. Well, they'll be this size right here. Doing them on once I have it scanned, then I'll try to do a couple that might just be 2 different coloring pages. You know, they'll be the same one, but they'll be like a book. They'll be coloring pages. I might have to Photoshop that thing out, like move it over somewhere, maybe behind the tree or something like that, or just so it's doesn't get cut in half. Kind of scoot some stuff over and erase it that way, so the I'll have to learn how to do that. But that, or even if I'm just kind of doing half of it, that way you get the full picture, but it's just like this much of it instead, so you don't get the full house. But they'll get a full-on coloring page with part of the house in it and part of the tree coming in. And so, you know, I'll play around with it and see. You know, I'll do some full ones. The full ones will probably cost money. The other ones I'll probably do up just so I have a thing to take over to my dad's store for freebies for them. So if you live over in my area, or in Macy's over here in Utah, start checking out, and maybe you'll get lucky and find the right store that has them on. Anyways, so take out all the Holly. So this is the final project as of now. I'm gonna try to get this thing out this coming Friday. I should be off. Actually, I have a fall weekend, then I'll be getting started on my next one. I have an idea of what it's gonna be. It might be some stuff for Thanksgiving, and I have my big poster I want to get started. So I might just do some videos on that, or I might do some lives and then do it coloring it in. I don't know. I might do some lives doing that one, and then do a video of coloring the other one black and white. Which is the huge poster size. I got 3/4 of it of that one done. But so yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. This thing, for the full-on sketch of it, it took me, I think this all together took me about 10 hours or more. I went over to Starbucks and kind of finished off the details, so, you know, this way it looks different from the other time. But I really enjoyed making the house. The houses and this tree really turned out really nice. This whole section here, you know, this tree here is really cool. It was kind of like the first experiment with trees, and the kind of the doing the ink and the sketching and stuff. And I think I just kind of went a little bit overboard, but this one, it looks really cool. But I really like this section, I think, the best. This witch turned out really pretty. And then you have the villagers and the little village in the background, which is really, really cool. And the little bird in the background flying over, and then the moon. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint it in as a moon or just leave it as a circle, and people can either have it as the sun or the moon. But since this is Halloween, I'm gonna do it as the moon, and this is, you know, some witches, and this is the witches' potluck. I think they're gonna come and help them fix up the house. She's picking apples. Villagers look like they have torches and stuff, but who knows? Maybe they're actually bringing the tiki torches and some tar. Instead of tar and feather, it's just tar to help them fix the roofs and stuff. And they got a couple tables out ready for all of them to come out and help them. Anyways, I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Like I said, if I have my Ko-Fi up, hopefully by the time this thing gets out, I'll have my Ko-Fi out, so you can go in there. If you want to get this coloring page, go and grab it. Anything donations always helps me getting the inks and stuff. and kitty foods and coffees for me. So when I go to Starbucks to work on this project, it covers for my coffees. And I'll also have some free coloring pages out there as well. So have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Love you all.